We are in learning goal number 4 for Unit 3, which is now comparing numbers to the millions. So we compared decimals last time. Now we're going to go the other way and compare millions. So hopefully this looks really familiar to you. So a pattern to look at, and again, this should look familiar, hopefully, is that pattern around the ones. So again, we've got our decimal, and then whatever unit we're talking about, and we've always called it sort of our ones place value. And then we've got tens and tenths, hundreds, hundreds, thousands, thousands, 10,000s, 10,000ths. And then it doesn't, even though the chart does not extend on, it would continue in the same pattern. So 100,000s. On this side, the next place value would be 100,000ths. So just noting that the pattern is going to keep going as big as the number gets here. It's going to go the same way over here. The only one that doesn't repeat is the ones. There's no once column. So why do we want you to know this? Well, you need to be able to compare really big numbers. So if we're looking at those really big numbers, sometimes they'll have decimals attached to them. So we started there, and now we're moving on to the bigger numbers. So if you think about sometimes just looking at the number and saying them out loud rather than having to line them all up, if you use your common sense, you're going to be able to tell which ones are the biggest and which ones are the smallest. So if I look at these 4 numbers here and I just say, okay, just looking at the left side of the decimal, 45, okay. Well, look at this. There's no decimal, which means it goes way down here. That's 2 million. Obviously, I mean, if you look at these, hopefully you can pick out right away. This is really big. This is a lot bigger than the other ones. So we've got a 45 and something, 2 million and something. And again, I'm not going to spend the whole time reading it all because you can tell it's so much bigger. 5 and then a 0. So if I'm putting these in order from smallest to largest, well, again, it's easy to pick out 2 million is going to be the biggest. 45 is bigger than 5, and 5 is bigger than 0, so this one must be my smallest. So 36 hundredths is the smallest, followed by 5 and 689 thousandths, then 45 and 89 thousandths, and then 2,650,000. So in order from smallest to largest. Okay? So moving on to some examples.
Yes, so sometimes you just have to compare 2 different numbers, and what you want to do is same thing. You can look before the decimal, and if you're reading it out loud, right away you can see that 387 is going to be larger than 38 and something. So it's really important to look where this decimal is and read it out loud, or say it out loud, to hear which number is largest. Or you can even just go digit by digit and see. But so here we have 387 and 9 hundredths is larger than 38 and 907 thousandths.
Even though, notice there's the same number of digits, like there's 5 digits here and there's 5 digits here, but this is substantially bigger. 387 is way bigger than 38.
That decimal makes a big difference.
Yes.
So here's another one. No decimal in either one, so we know that really it should be after our whole numbers here. So once again though, if we read it out loud, 451,002 compared to 430,200. Wow. So once again, 451 is larger, so that's what we should have. Now you get to try a couple on your own.
Yep.
And so you're going to look at these 2 once again. You can read it out loud, see what makes more sense to you and which one is greater than. And then here you might notice a decimal, so being careful about that.
And make sure you write the actual numbers in and then put the symbol in between them so that we can see them when we come back. That way if you by chance flipped the numbers, then that would show where the symbol would be different too. So make sure you write all that down.
Yes. All right. So once again, you might be asking yourselves, why do we have to know this? Well, you never know. Someday you might want to buy a really nice car and you have to compare prices.
And then you're going to remember your 5th grade teachers and you're going to want to buy them a really nice car too.
So what we want you to do in your math journal is to actually compare these prices of cars from smallest to greatest, or least to greatest. So looking here, we have pretty nice cars.
Very nice cars.
So you can look at these, enjoy them, but then also look at the prices and put them from least to greatest. And we'll be looking for that in your math journal as well.
That's right.
To thinking about population too. That's another instance when you have to compare really large numbers.
Yep, and if you remember, there was a census that went out, was it last year? I think, where it was talking about the different populations in the different cities, and those numbers are just huge numbers, all the way into the millions sometimes. So what we're going to show you here is just a little chart that has some population of different cities, and some of these might look familiar to you. So here's different cities, and they're not in order right now, and their population, so how many people are in them, who live in them. So there's a couple questions that we want you to use that reference back to that little chart. So the first one, we want you to compare the population from Hennepin to the population of Allegheny, and use the correct symbol, meaning greater than, less than. So you'll write the population of one, population of the other, and then which symbol goes where. So Hennepin and Allegheny. And then, and this one I really like because you're going to have to really think about it. Which county's population is closest to 1 million? So you need to think about that number 1 million. And then look at these and see which of these is the closest to 1 million. So you're going to really have to think about comparing them, maybe putting them in order if that would help you. Whatever you need to do. And that's all for this one. So short and sweet, I think.
Yeah.